It's on page 2. If I can get a motion to approve those.
Okay. Lester seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right.
Can you speak up, please? Can't hear you back here, man.
Yeah, but yell a little loud on the thing.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to hear. That's it.
I understand.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have had my manager report for just over a week now. Do you have any questions about it? No, but we're going to get to a lot of the stuff that's on here. That's probably just some of the main issues within the community that are being addressed by people. I understand some of them. There are quite a few that are not being addressed. So it gets to be a little confusing sometimes when people come at me about certain things that are not being done, don't realize how much is being done, and what actual areas need to be addressed. So we're going to get to that. But the first thing that we want to look at are these garbage cans. Now, during COVID and all that whole facade that was going on there, we laid back a little bit. But one of the reasons is that we had tried for a finding committee before, but could never truly implement it because when I would call, some people didn't answer. So the first state of business we want to do is that we want a finding committee. But you have to understand, if you volunteer to be on the finding committee, it's a lot of work. And you're on a committee, which means that somebody has to go take photographs of these garbage cans, submit them to the management company. The management company will then put them into a meeting, and we have to have a meeting where these fines are approved. Once they're approved by the board, then the finding committee is called to a second meeting, usually with a board member. It's usually just once the fines have been approved by the board, then one of the board members meets with the finding committee at a set date, as much as we can every month, and agrees to approve these fines or not. People will be given an opportunity to come and say why they disagree with getting a fine. I personally think that it's pretty obvious if your garbage can is outside the day after pickup, it shouldn't be there no matter what. But on the finding committee, you will get these things where everybody will complain that their garbage can wasn't out, or that we're incorrect in finding them. Well, we're not. It's in the rules and regulations, has been there for years. So tonight, I need to know, I need 3 people to volunteer to be on the finding committee. Do I have 3 people who are willing to do that? What's your name?
Raphael.
Raphael?
Verona, D-E-V-A-R-O-N-A. The last name?
I'm sorry, I can't.
D-E-V-A-R-O-N-A. The last name? Raphael spelled R-A-P-H-A-E-L.
Right. Can you give me your address?
Yes, 3043 Ashland Lane South,
Thank you.
Kissimmee, Florida.
Before you leave, I need to get your phone number.
Sure thing.
Okay. Is there a second person?
I requested to be in the the finding committee, and I never received any callback. If it was very minimal, and I mean now 2 years later, which was approximately 2 years later, now you want to get this, like this is the pressing issue.
Well, this is where we're present, and that's why we're doing it now. Now it's coming.
Yeah, but I mean that's a symptom of how things things operate under this leadership. I would love to be in the finance committee, but if the leadership is gonna be like this, then I think we
Like
need
this,
new
what do you
leadership.
mean like this? We're trying to address an issue.
2 years later?
4 years later.
It's not 4 years.
2018, 2019,
Yeah.
my husband, and Lydia signed up for planning. I signed up for two, and I never got back to them. So,
And I can't do
The
anything
truth of
about
the
that.
matter is we don't have management.
Let's take one issue at a time, please.
You wanna make a.
What are the parameters of the finance committee? What are they overlooking? What are they overseeing? Is this, are we blanket just saying, hey, this is a finance committee, they make up whatever they
No,
want?
I just told you, so I'll repeat myself.
Is only, no, you don't have to repeat yourself. Is it only garbage? That's the only thing we're voting on right now for the finance committee? Is there
That's
any-
really all we needed, or if there are some issues that are against the rules and regulations, like for example, if somebody has an AC unit in their window, and they notice that,
So
that's not-
who's gonna govern these guidelines?
that's not something that gets a fine, but it does get a letter.
I understand,
From
I
the
understand
company
completely,
to-
I get that. As a human being that lives here, I am wondering where the guidance is on this. Where the rules are on these things, where we're enforcing. What are we enforcing? Okay, what are the punishments?
Like if
These
the
things-
guidelines would be stand online to everyone.
This is corporate, hey, I work for Marriott, guys. I have things I have to hold my people accountable to. And if
Okay,
you wanna hold
so-
us accountable by a, no, excuse me, please, let me talk. If you wanna hold us accountable by this committee, what are you holding us accountable to?
For leaving,
That's my
for
question.
leaving
Lay it
the
out,
trash
that's my
can
question.
out when it's in the rules and regulations that you shouldn't, it must be put back the same day as it's picked up. If it's there the next day, it's absolutely stated in the rules and regulations of rules 15 years ago, I think.
Anything else? No, please, no, do not move on. Do not move on, Ben.
I'm not trying to move on, I'm trying to flag out a volunteer.
I was gonna say there are a lot of other issues.
Okay, enough of this, I'm not gonna wander around the place, we have business to get done and
Guys, I'm
time is
speaking,
fun,
Kevin,
so.
I'm actually-
Let me answer the man.
Yeah,
Thank you, I don't need anybody to help me
This is a
answer.
very legitimate question, guys.
Your question.
Legally and me speaking. to
All right,
you.
let me speak, sir, please. It's in the rules and regulations, it's been approved many, many years ago. Okay, so, as it's in the rules and regulations, the board is entitled to have that fine approved and put it on an owner's ledger.
Understandable.
Okay, so the fining committee, in fact, any committee, does the work to assist the board and to assist the community. So if you leave your garbage can out and it's there the next day, a photograph will be taken of it with your address. This will be given to management at a specific time in the month, which we will set up at some point, the first Wednesday, the first Thursday, or whatever we can. We will have a very quick meeting to address those fines. If the board approves, they be issued. Then the fining committee comes in again, and they are faced with saying, yes, we saw this. And people are allowed to come and say, you're not fining me for whatever reason, and we'll say, well, here's the photographic evidence. Your garbage can was outside at this time and should not have been there. And the fining committee will say, we agree to the fine. Then it can go on the owner's ledger, but not before. Once it goes on the owner's ledger, it does not come up. But here's the problem, that if we don't put a fining committee in and we don't put it on the ledger, if anything happens, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, if a unit is delinquent in their assessments and they went to foreclosure, or we had attorney problems, and we have put a fine on the ledger that was not approved the appropriate way, then that will be denied by a court. Also probably denying the whole ledger, at least the interest and late fees on the ledger. That's why it's so imperative that we dot our i's and cross our t's as far as the fines for this is concerned. It's
So,
not just a little walk in the
I
park.
don't want to take you off. for trash cans.
That's all it is.
I would love to believe that, Philip.
What else would it be?
Anything else in the hotel? Sorry,
So
I
tell
work
me,
in
give
hospitality.
me-
I work in hospitality, and I say hotel.
Be
My
specific.
apologies.
What else
My
would it be?
apologies. Anything else in this property?
Anything is a wide spectrum. Give me
Okay,
specific.
so
Christmas
someone,
lights?
Really, Philip?
Just go outside to see the lights.
One at a time, please.
You're asking something, you're opening Pandora's box, Philip.
No, I'm asking
Box
you,
is
sir.
open.
I'm asking you, sir, be specific.
Okay, noise,
If you
noise,
can't be
be
specific, I will go to somebody
Alright,
else.
okay, well, hey, Phil, you didn't give me a chance to be specific.
No.
Does anyone else agree that I'm asking a completely rational question here?
Yes.
Thank you. Philip, please answer my question, if you do agree. Music from Christmas lights, blasting. Blasting. There are certain Christmas ensembles, I do agree, Christmas lights are beautiful, guys. I love them, all right? I love it. But when you go through here, there are lights that are blasting throughout the night, guys.
Blasting.
Blasting. Music. Music with lights, guys. This has happened. Don't, like, if you haven't driven through the neighborhood, I don't know where you live on this neighborhood, but they happen. Certain things do happen, guys.
That's waste.
Waste, trash being left outside, guys.
Pets.
The bench that has, all these things are things
Okay,
that have.
so, this finding committee will be specifically for garbage cans, nothing else.
And in
Now,
right, in written,
let me speak.
in right, in right.
Let me speak.
Who's gonna be charging garbage?
Let me speak. There are lots of other items that are against the association documents that cannot be handled with a fine. If you put your Christmas tree lights up and we send you a letter in the end of January to remove them, and you don't, a second letter will go out to you that says if you do not remove them, this is your last notice, we will give it to the attorney. If you have a car in your driveway that is inoperable and it's been there for a long time, again, the association is entitled to send that to an attorney after having sent you 2 notices. There are lots of things here. As far as the Christmas tree lights are concerned, I'm not sure. If I don't know something, I'll tell you. I'm a straight shooter. If I don't know it, I'll tell you. I'm not sure what the law says as far as Christmas tree lights that make noise or have music playing. We would have to discuss with the attorney what laws we can set into action concerning that. I've honestly never been asked that question. In 16 years I've been here, I've never been asked that question about Christmas tree lights or Christmas lights.
July 4th fireworks.
July 4th
For
fireworks.
veterans, for
Okay,
dogs.
I'm sorry, I don't wanna interrupt you, but I wanna skip on to another. Just give me the 3 minutes that everyone can be
Well,
on. Just
hold
please.
up. We're trying to do our business here. When that is over, we will have an open forum.
Absolutely, no, I
When you
have.
get your 3 minutes to
Okay,
talk.
so this is
right now
about
we're
the
gonna
fine,
move
no,
on.
then disregard the 3 minutes.
That's your
Disregard
It's
that,
not
disregard
an
that.
open forum
This is
now.
about the fining committee then, let's stick to the subject. So we're talking about a fining committee, with all due respect, it's not the garbage that's a problem. It's the lack of representation for those that are leaving the garbage out, it's much more than that. So right now, we're literally 20 minutes into garbage, and we respectfully ask for this meeting with a board that their fiduciary duties have not been upheld. This is not Christmas lights garbage, the lack of representation, the broken locks, the dirty driveways, the,
Dirty
yes,
driveway. Wow.
sir, this has gotten to a point, there is no communication with anyone. This is the first time, if I'm wrong, anyone stop me. Has anyone ever met Lester?
No.
Has anyone been responded to in the past year and change? Have any emails, texts, phone calls, letters, etc. been responded to?
Nope.
When Mr.
Lie.
Benjamin,
Lie.
excuse me, sir. The same way no one, I did not interrupt, I just want to keep on with the fining committee. We are here speaking on a fining committee when the problem is much deeper than that.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do one thing at a time, please. Finding committee, do we have 3 minutes?
You cannot force us to speak on something that is irrelevant at the moment.
No, you cannot.
This is
No,
about
No,
the
you
fine.
cannot.
Hold on,
You
hold
cannot.
on, hold
Wait.
on. This is
Wait,
about,
what? You cannot.
this
you
is
cannot
about,
do what
excuse
you
me,
want.
excuse me.
You either have
this-
a decorum here or we don't. So the
Excuse me.
meeting is run by one specific rule. that the-
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the
Absolutely.
rule.
That you-
Absolutely.
The board has to get rid of the business that we needed to do for this meeting.
So the
It's
board
for-
is not gonna approve it
Excuse
because
me,
you don't
sir.
have anybody, no, no,
Excuse me.
no. The
Sir,
one that, the one that
Technic-
screams the loudest is not gonna get through.
You all
The
need-
board will not be able to vote on that because they don't want you to vote on it.
Well, you're.
And the L count, which is him, you're assuming.
Yo, you're the one that's yelling the loudest.
Right,
But
right,
for-
because
for-
you don't let
with all
anybody
due-
else talk, that's
Stop.
why.
Exactly,
yes. That's why.
Everybody, that's just,
You all
with
need
all
to
due
stop
res-
now.
with-
We need to get.
with all due respect, the board consists of 2 people.
And it shouldn't be
Right
two.
now,
That's
there's
another,
begin
only
with.
2
that's
of you.
another.
The L count knows that
But
too.
can we
Please stop yelling behind me. Get in front of me and talk if you
That's
want.
fine, I can go in front of you, whatever, it's
rude.
fine.
This is, I'm sorry, listen, Philip. We are exhausted, we are mentally drained, and we are telling you the condescending attitude from certain individuals in your convening section, in your board of trustees, in your management, the lack of representation, the lack of communication, the problems that we have faced ourselves as homeowners, the crime that we have seen with our own eyes. Excuse me, I myself, my husband, others have had to confront in this pool for the past 6 months constant individuals. Excuse me, sir, the broken locks,
You know,
the lack of a stall
I
in the women's bathroom.
I get it. You need to be heard. I get it. So.
No, we need to be heard, and we don't care about
Everyone
garbage cans
You-
right now.
Okay, so stop it.
We don't care about garbage cans.
Stop
Skip
it now, or I will close the meeting legally. I will close it.
You
Stop
will
it.
You can't do
close
that.
do that.
You have quorum
You cannot
right
do
here.
that.
You can't do that. Legally.
It's
You
being
can't.
recorded, Phil.
You need to stop, sir,
can
because
close that.
you don't know the law.
You don't know
This
the
is
law?
beyond the law.
Trust me when I tell you.
Vamos a calmarlo porque no vale la pena. No vale la
Being
pena.
recorded.
All right.
Everything's being recorded.
Enough!
John,
Enough!
you're
Enough!
hanging yourself.
Enough!
I didn't say a word to you. Stop.
Okay.
I didn't say a word to you.
Don't worry about it.
Enough.
Let's keep talking.
Guys,
Stop it!
let him finish whatever he has to finish, and then we'll finish up on us later.
Is there going to threaten me, physically threaten me?
No, nobody's
Excuse me,
nobody's
sir, you
threatening
speak to the
Please,
homeowners,
that's-
you do not speak to
Exactly.
You speak to us, you speak to us,
speak to
you
you.
speak to us, you speak to us, we pay you.
We're not being productive here. We're not
Okay.
being, we're
Now
not
you
being
pay.
productive.
But
He can shut it off right now, and then we are here wasting our time. All
respectfully,
this time
you
that
have
we're
If you do not stop, you have wasted
Jesus.
your time and my time. You will all stop now because I will explain to you what happened. Stop it!
Guys,
Or leave, or I will have you removed. I'm done with this here.
let him
Stop!
finish.
We have business to attend to. Now, if you want to be heard, this is protocol, Robert's Rule of Law, governmental law. Associations are run under the same principle as government meetings. Robert's Rule of Order, right? So, you will have to bear with us while we go through the list of things that we put on the agenda. Then I will have an open forum for you individually to be heard, where you will have 3 minutes. If you can't abide by that, then it's just a matter of being heard and it's unimportant to me. If you can't abide by the rules of order, then I need you to leave and stop disturbing the meeting, or I will close it, which is my legal entitlement to do if you're all out of order. Do I have your attention, please? Because I won't go through this again. I've done it once before. Wait, sir, please. I've done it once before, and I will close this meeting down in a heartbeat, and you can get any amount of material as you want.
This is illegal.
It's not illegal.
Yes, it is. It
What
is illegal. Five, you know this and threatening me, touching me.
Continue,
The guy behind you.
Stop.
Continue.
Stop. Stop. Stop it.
Yeah, the guy behind you's filming you. What your motion was.
I know. You're allowed to
Do it to yourself.
videotape. You're allowed to
Do it to
audio
yourself.
record.
That's what I meant.
Why is he reiterating the recording? 20 minutes later.
You don't run this meeting, none of you do. We run the meeting, so we set all the protocols as well, followed as per the law. Just give me a moment, please. If you you can't abide by that, then walk away, because I will not have one more disturbance while we're doing this. I will not let this get out of hand. I am a volunteer, as Lester is. We do not have the time to do this. No, it's not. So stop making remarks that are absolutely invalid.
Do not disrespect me, continue.
I'm not enough. Okay, stop.
Guys, let them do what they gotta do, then we have our turn. That's basically what you're
This
saying.
gotta be the garbage.
They can talk about,
Stop it, or I close it down now.
That's it, guys, quiet.
They're gonna shut us down if he wants to stop.
I don't want to stop it, I want to help, but if they keep on interrupting, I'm not wasting my precious time here.
Just sit down.
You can leave too, anytime you want.
Let them talk.
Sit down.
Are we done?
Let's go on to the next item.
Yes.
So, we have a vendor looking at benches.
Can you speak up, sir? Because I can't. I'm sitting behind you and I can't hear.
Well, then sit in front of me, close to me, but you can hear me. We've known for a while that these benches, that the quality of the sides on them were very poor quality. I have been looking for a way, instead of investing in complete new benches, which are extremely expensive, to try and use the benches that we have. The actual bench itself is solid. It's the side units that were of very poor quality. So, I have a general contractor looking into how to manufacture legs for these benches in stainless steel so they can be bolted down, and when these kids or people, whoever they are, decide to jump up on them and run, they won't just fall over, which over time these have done. So he should be out here tomorrow to take one of the benches, bring it back and have a look at it and come up with a plan as to what they can do.
Do you have any idea when that would be?
I won't know until I talk to him. Here is the problem with everything today. Everybody is impatient to get things done. Me too, I'm a contractor. I am impatient, but I have to live with the supply of labor and the supply of products as it is. So, I know a lot of people don't accept that, but I can't be concerned with that. I'm telling you what the information is that I have right now. So he's going to come out tomorrow, take a bench, bring it back, and see what they can fabricate that is stronger than what we have, and hopefully doesn't cost as much as having to replace those benches because they were expensive at the time. The second thing is that the bathrooms here are in what I call very poor condition. They're almost 20 years old. The type of product that the builder put in has not really, it's particle board with melamine on top. That's a recipe for failure at least after 10 to 15 years. My experience in other communities with this is to use marine board. Marine board is solid. It can be cut to the size of these panels and copied to exactly to what we need. So I have asked him to look into that, the contractor to look into that. We have enough money in reserves to look, get these bathrooms done. So they have been painted, the floors have been painted, but we have one door in the ladies' room where the heat has gone on it. Did he remove it? Yeah. So he did have one on the way to fix just that door temporarily, but in the long term, I'm not into quick shot fixes. I'm into long term fixes. So I've asked him to look at this complete rejuvenation of the bathrooms. And we can't vote on that as to what until we get the bids in and see what
Is that
happens.
excluding the locks?
Well, I wanted to discuss the action. It's not about the lock. The problem is not the lock on the door. The problem is the door itself. So I've had enough of it. So I want to propose that we get a completely new door and frame. So I made that motion to renew that door and frame on that ladies' bathroom, because no matter what we've done, it doesn't seem to repair the problem where people can just push the door open. So can I have a second on that motion? All right, second motion. So can you get that done speedily, please? Absolutely. Because that is a big concern. It has nothing to do with the locks. The locks are safe, the actual cards work, but the cards are useless if you can just drop the handle and push the door in. I tried to file down the side of the door because I thought it was sticking with paint. What I think it is, these doors are heavy and they pull the hinges from the frame. So even putting new hinges in, I was told by the contractor, it's a waste of time because the frame itself is soft. So for me, that's part of the running expense. Just
Laura, I don't know if you've noticed, but the men's bathroom is also broken. Just push it right in.
well, that's happened recently.
A couple of times I tested and it was good.
I check it before I leave and I just ask if it includes both doors. Are we in agreement on that? Alright, because I'm not taking, I don't take shortcuts and I may take a time to get something done, but I want it done right and I want it done legally and I want it done properly. So no second time coming around and fixing it or something, right? Did we get 3 members for the finance committee?
We have 0 members right now. We have 1 volunteer, but it wasn't on. So if you want to circle back to finance committee, I can give them. Right. You want me to talk about the finance committee real quick?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so
No, I need this done, so whether you like it or not, we need to complete this business. That is what we're
So
here.
we just want, the answer is, if no one wants to volunteer, no one wants to be here, but I want to give a good go to get volunteers for the finding committee.
Mr. Phillips.
Now, just so we're clear, the finding committee must be comprised of owners who are not officers, directors, or employees of the association, or the spouse, parent, child, brother, or sister of an officer, director, or employee. So does anyone who fits that criteria wish to volunteer for the finding committee? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, sir, what's your name?
Okay.
Jose, what's your last name?
Jimenez.
Jimenez?
Okay.
What's your address?
2914 Ashland Lane.
2914 Ashland?
That's correct.
Great, thank you for volunteering.
Do we have anybody
Who
else?
else would like to volunteer? Sir, what's your name?
F-A-I-S-A-L.
What's your last name?
H-A-R-O-N.
Guys, let's be real, right now, there are no rules.
And what's your address?
No.
2902 Grafton? Okay.
Need a third member.
Anybody else want to volunteer?
So let me put this very, very, very specific to you. If we do not get 3 members, then we can't put fines on the trash cans. Then we can waste our time taking photographs and sending out notices to people to put their trash cans in. And again, what has happened over time is that they will never put them inside. We have to have a specific action plan and we have to have those people. This is what is required by law to put a fine on a member of the community. It's not just something we do.
But don't you guys used to do that, the fines and the $15? What has changed?
But they were denied by, in certain areas where we had people arguing. I'm sorry.
You never know volunteer.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna volunteer.
What's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua? What's your last name, Joshua?
Justin.
What's your address?
2984 Langdon Lane.
So are you?
Not to get too far off topic, but this process is because several years ago, I mean, we're talking several years ago, the Florida legislature, in their infinite wisdom, decided there would be a lot more hoops that have to be gone through in order to legally assess it. So it's unfortunate we have to ask for volunteers, but we really do appreciate all of those people who have volunteered.
Now, the planning committee are non-board members.
Right, you can't do that. We're not board members, but we really appreciate you participating in this. So after the meeting, please come and see us. We'll get your phone numbers and
Talk to Ben so you get all the numbers, and I need to have your numbers, so, or you need to have my number just a moment, so we can talk about this. This is a very specific necessity. We went through this before. Now, COVID hit, and you're gonna say, oh yeah, well that's in the past. It's not that far in the past. When a lot of people were in trouble, a lot of people were home, there was a whole different set of restrictions. I'm waiting for that to get down and get out of the way, which I think it is. So let's get that done and get it done fast. Just a minute. Is there anything else that you need to?
316.
Anything else that you need to say? No? Okay. So, as such, normally you would have a list there with your name on it. In order to speedily go through this, before we start the open forum, I wanted to ask you some questions for your considerations. On a daily basis here, a lot of stuff happens. Some people see some of those things, some don't. Some remark on them, some don't. Some people stay with one idea and stick to it like that's what's going to ruin the community. It's not. Now, the trash cans is obvious. Secondary thing is, the gate was down on Saturday morning. I was rushing to work. I had to get out, unlock the gates, and lock them down. I left a voicemail from the gate company to address this. Apparently, they didn't get the voicemail, which I don't understand. So someone called or emailed Ben and said, the gate is open. I don't see any action in having it repaired. It's always open. Now, those kind of comments are a waste of time because they're not true. First of all, the gate is reported when it's broken. Secondly, we are dependent upon, whenever we call, when they can put a ticket on that gate and get it fixed. During COVID, we had a couple of months because they could not get the parts we needed to close the gate. So I think it was down for about 2.5 months. That's out of our control. That's got nothing to do with the board not doing its fiduciary responsibility. We are always dependent on vendors, how they can react and how fast they can react, and if the products are available. If you can't understand that, it's because you don't want to. My problem is with people in general is that you can be surrounded by facts and choose to ignore them. So when you want to speak about something, be specific. And if one person has always already addressed that issue, then if we need to take it into consideration and we need to have another meeting to address it, that's what we'll do. Now, the spikes on the gate. If you've noticed, there's concrete that holds those embedded. That concrete is starting to wear down. My fear is that wears down where somewhere the spikes get stuck and someone drives over it and their car gets wrecked. So we have a bid from the gate company. I believe the price to put those in about 7 years ago, was around $5,000. Now it's at almost $15,000 to put the new type of spike in. Okay, so bear with me for a minute. You have that bid. I'd like a motion to approve that.
I haven't seen it.
It's on page 22 of the packet.
22.
Do you want that paid out of the reserves or the operating?
I think we should pay out the reserves. Pay out the reserves.
You do?
Are there copies of those available for us?
You can email me and I'll send you a copy.
Okay, so things, but they can't be there when we have meetings, okay.
You can get a copy of anything you want. You are entitled to a copy of anything you want. If you want the minutes of the meeting, you request them, and they should be ready usually within a week. Then sign it. Okay? We're not open for them yet. So give us-
No, I just.
Why don't
We're not
we
open
all-
for them just yet.
Why don't we all have a copy? We all own the buildings. Why only you three?
This is a board meeting, this is the ones you
We're
get the
part of the
copies.
board.
It's a board meeting. You're
We're
not
part
part
of the board, we own it.
Guys,
You're
let
not
them
part of the
talk.
board. I'm sorry.
Just let them ramble.
Huh? Where is that?
Page 22.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve that? Silence, please. So, depending on when the gate company can get this done, that will put in the order tomorrow to say we've approved it, and we put new spikes in the gates. They could be open for a day or two while that process is happening. So don't go emailing saying the gates are down again, they're not. All right? So everything else that we have is probably done. So my final question is, what is it that, apart from saying you want the board to resign, and you want them to move out because things haven't been done the way you like them to, well, I can tell you, how many people do we have here? About 30? 30 or 40, that's around 10%. So you feel that you represent the whole community. Trust me, you
You know
don't.
how to count, it's about more than 40.
You need 35 owners.
No, let me,
No,
let me,
that's-
Owners.
Stop.
let me talk to you for a second.
Stop. What I'm saying to you is, you can be surrounded by facts, but if you ignore them, then you're wasting our time and your own time. There's a lot that goes on here on a daily basis you don't even see being done. You don't see me out marking cars, because I've never had anyone say, oh, I saw you driving around marking cars that were parked wrong. I do that on a regular basis late at night. Okay? I look at things. Now, besides garbage cans, I want one person besides garbage cans, I want one person to answer me. Have you seen anything else in here that absolutely needs to be done? As one person, sir.
Where?
You.
The door from the gate on the side, those
Side gates?
Yeah, that should be closed, because people are coming in at night.
Well, we can't lock them. We can't lock them permanently.
Why not?
Just a moment, let me answer the question. We can't lock them permanently because we have children get off the school bus and we can't lock them out.
Okay, Nancy. I see other people, I see other communities, they got the same, they got the door locked.
All of them, all of them.
Every kid has a pad open, that's it. That's what
Every
we got to
community
do.
except ours.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Right?
Not every community.
Tell me which one doesn't, because
No,
Tim
no.
gives you to
My
walk.
goodness.
He's the only one talking.
Well, I had told
Can
you,
I
I had
talk?
the right to
Do
I
not, I'm
was-
responding to you. You're
I
making
was-
a statement.
Stop! I was
No.
listening to the man's answer now. Give me a chance to
Don't tell
respond.
me just that. That's not fair. That's
You
not
asked me
fair.
a question.
He's making a statement and it's not.
Just a minute, let's do one thing at a time.
Just a proposal on his
Just
question.
give me a second.
Just a proposal.
Just let me answer that question. You can't railroad this board, that's illegal, so stop it right now. Okay? You can't railroad a board, because we'll close it in a heartbeat. Don't,
hear what you're saying?
yes, you're trying to railroad the
Hear
board.
what you're
Stop it.
saying, because it's.
Here's the thing. I have always been of the understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we have school-going children where a bus stops right outside the gate, we should not block the side gates. Am I correct? It's totally up to us. See? So,
Us or you?
stop right now. So, if you want us to lock the gates, if you want us to put a lock in there, we would have to issue a special card to everybody with school-going children specifically.
Excuse me, sir, I have a
Just a
proposal.
moment.
It's just a proposal.
Have
because-
patience.
Wait a minute.
One second, one second.
Wait, no.
One
Give me-
second. Play the
give me
game.
1 second.
No,
I'm just.
no,
But wait a minute, sir, excuse me.
No.
Excuse me, no, yes.
No,
Excuse me.
absolutely
No,
not.
excuse me. If it's
If
a
you
proposal,
interrupt the
I'm
meeting,
not
I'll have to
interrupting, I'm
remove.
saying excuse me. And you have to have the ability and the
No, I don't.
conscience to have a conversation.
This lady
It's
answered
just
me
a
first.
proposal on the
This lady.
doors, without you saying that
We'll
you
get
have
to-
to admit
we'll
a
get to
special
it.
card for everybody.
Excuse
How about
me.
if you lock it from dusk to dawn?
Excuse me.
There are no school at dusk.
You got your thing too, even though you interrupted the meeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got it, because you
Just-
keep interrupting too.
Dusk to dawn doesn't work
Why?
because after dark, anybody who likes can walk in. You're trying to stop people walking in. That's what everybody said. That it's a free access to our community. Okay, yes, the man said, you said the gates are always open.
Yes.
Did you not?
Yes.
Okay, it's free access. That's 24/7. Stop trying to blind me with this dusk to dawn thing. That only regards the pool.
Why you? It's why you? What is this?
You're being rude.
Auntie,
Stop, yes.
look.
Come on, man, let her speak.
That's not bad news.
Stop it. Man, I swear to you, I will not do this much longer. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm far too busy.
Sir, okay, then.
I didn't ask you to speak just yet.
You don't ask me anything. No, you don't ask me
Right
anything.
now I do.
Hey,
Do
Phil,
not
Phil.
ask me
Guys,
anything.
unfortunately, we are on our parliamentary procedure. He's
Yeah.
using that, so is it back?
Yes.
Using it, what else should I use?
You have literally ignored us until today.
I agree with Phil.
Chancey, he keeps threatening this, I'm leaving.
Yes, let's listen to
All right,
him.
we've come to the point about the
You've
side
been
gate.
listening.
We
I
will
know,
take
that's
that
his
under
game. It's gonna take
consideration.
2
It should
hours.
be locked on a permanent basis. And if people, listen to me, and if people need to get a card or a key or whatever they get, one of my concerns about that is that if we give out cards and keys for the gate only, these are lost on school buses, taken in schools. I've experienced that on another community 12 years ago where somebody lost their card and 3 people came in and one of them shot a man in the community. Now, was that an easy access? If he'd wanted to do that, which was determined, he would have done it anyway because he was out to get this person, regardless. But it was made easy for him because somebody dropped their card getting off the bus. So I'm telling you, there's for and against any suggestions we make. But before we put the community to a lot of expense in doing something, we need to consider the after effects, the cost, and what it is we're doing. So I appreciate the point you made. We do find that those locks are consistently damaged. Always trying to have those
You know
locks.
why I came up with that? Because when I came back, coming home, I see about 4 guys that go on here. Went into the gate, opened the door, came in, jumped over.
They talking about this gate or the?
No, they came in through the front, side door.
Well,
They came to the
let's
door.
see what we can do, and I'll have to figure out what time we can put on those gates.
Sir.
Okay, just a moment,
A
please.
simple question.
Just a moment.
When is Governor
Stop
Price?
interrupting me, please, or we never get through here today. All right. Now, I asked, this lady had a hand up before you.
Okay, so along with the gates, is it possible to assist with the gates, not to lock them all the time, but like they were saying, like when you know the kids aren't gonna be there, like the pool gets closed at a certain time, why wouldn't those get closed to kind of hamper people coming in that shouldn't at night, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, what does it matter excuse me for asking,
but like
but
in broad
what
daylight.
does it matter if it's just between dusk and dawn for the main gate? Because a lot of crime that's committed when people come to the gate is done at night if they want to.
That's what I'm saying, so lock it at night and not during the day would be open for the kids. But like lock it at night when, like, cause during broad daylight, people are not gonna hopefully commit crimes.
We will take it under consideration
So
and
that's
find
all
out.
of
I
that.
have to talk to the police department maybe about that. So this lady with the red
The
shirt.
ladies before me. No, my thing was with her because she teaches and I teach. And after 6 o'clock, there's no buses coming in here. So after 6, we can at least alleviate some of the traffic walking into our community.
I know, and I understand the whole principle of locking down the side gates on a temporary basis each day. But for me, if it's worrisome about crime, people are gonna walk in that gate
remember, you
anytime.
might not
it's open.
have small children, but the rest of us do. So I understand that it doesn't worry you, but it worries myself. It worries Liz and everybody else that has small children here that we see people walking in here. Like I won't let my 7-year-old son play in the backyard.
I'm sorry to
around there.
interrupt you, but people can walk in there at any time.
But we're all
during that
working,
open
sir.
period.
Your conversation and your statement was that the gate, we don't wanna lock it during the day because you have people and kids
That
have
was
to
one of
walk
the
in and
reasons,
out,
one of the
right?
reasons,
And I
yeah.
get that, and I understand that. But in the evening, like the lady said, nobody, and that anybody that lives here should have their own key where if they need to leave the premises walking, they
All right,
can walk
I'll
out.
tell you what I'll do, and we'll put it to a motion. I motion to have the gates secured as the pool gate is secured with electronic cards. Regardless of time. Regardless of time. Can I have a second for that? You agree with that? All right, you got a second. Get on that fast, please. So, it's not it's not about not hearing your concerns. But my job as president, as the CEO of the company, is to evaluate what people need, what's most important. That's why I asked that question. So the gate is done. All right, sir.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sir. All right, next.
Okay, everybody is saying the gate, but I seen a lot of teenagers jumping through the little park with a lot of kids playing over there. And they jump in the gate on the top to kind of say out.
What would you suggest I do about it?
What would you do as president of the
What do you suggest I do? Because I don't know how to stop people.
So if you don't know how to handle it, why don't you let somebody else that have more knowledge?
Okay, so that's a very, very
But this is why I'm here
Okay,
today, to find
you
solutions.
asked your question.
I have another one.
That's one.
I have another question.
One thing at a time, lady.
Do not-
Please,
do
I'm
not
done
shadow
with
me.
this interruptions.
Do not shadow me.
You didn't say your name, so fine.
My name is Carmen Diaz and I'm living in 3028
Carmen,
Ashland.
Miss Carmen, let me tell you something. Trying to stop people jump a wall is next to impossible. We can't build a wall higher. We can't put barbed wire on top. We can't put broken glass. This is not a penitentiary. So if people want to jump the wall, we cannot have a guard walking up and down the street all day long trying to stop them. We can't do that. So I don't know, unless somebody has a really solid suggestion as to how, sir, as to how we stop people jumping the wall. How do we do that?
Metal gates
Why
on top
don't
of
you
it.
figure that out? Why
Metal
don't you
spikes.
figure that out as a president of the community here? Because that's why we all here today.
You asked your question, I'm putting it out to the community. Thank you.
Okay, and my next question means,
You
I
should-
send letters.
I'm done. You can't sit down. Stop. Done with this.
I told
No.
you I have two
Sir.
questions.
Do you have a suggestion?
Yes. On top of the wall,
There you go.
right? You could put like glass, broken glass.
All right, enough.
All right, guys, we're getting sidetracked.
Stop.
Please,
Guys,
please, we're getting sidetracked
Stop.
with the little minors.
That is,
Minors.
just
Major and the minors.
that is a detail that every community in the country has. Every community in the country has frequently times when kids who don't live here or kids who live here jump the gate. I'll tell you my introduction to this community the very first day I drove into it in 2006. I drove in the gate, I came up, and there were 3 kids jumping the full gate before I even purchased my house here. That's a regular thing. Our cameras are working. So notice on the cameras, they are working, but at night they're very diffused because of the humidity. So we have AT&T, we have CenturyLink. Our problem with CenturyLink is that their connection for me is not the greatest.
Are we in the form? Are we going to open form now?
And let me just finish this one thing. You want information, I'm here, I'm taking the time to give you information.
You want it.
So we are asking Spectrum to come out and see what they will charge to install their system instead of CenturyLink at the gate. Put antennas here on the building, so we put the cameras up and we may have to replace some of those cameras, if not all of them, because they are getting old. But we need to take time to evaluate what this is going to cost. And again, we're only starting the process. We need to have access to cameras, we need to have clear access to them, and at night we don't. So we want cameras that can be protected some way.
Bill, may I speak?
And that
Does
was-
anyone else have a chance to speak?
Yeah, this Twitch here.
Look, we're all here and
Stop,
we're gonna.
please, just
We're gonna
please
agree.
ask your question.
No, it's not a question. Let's get on to the real meat.
Yes.
There's 2 positions on the board right now.
We're gonna
open.
get
Let's get to it, because all this is nonsense.
Yes.
Excuse me?
It is nonsense. You're wasting people's time. Y'all
Major
gotta
and the
get
minors,
close
minor
to
and the
me.
majors.
All right, so let me just make another thing very clear to you. What you think is minor to other people can be major. You cannot, as one individual, speak for everybody in the community.
We are all
as a-
together.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's not only one, it's all of
Don't
us.
stop talking, please.
They agree.
Stop talking. So what you call minor may not be minor to everybody else. So we're addressing issues individually, the other people. So as far as the board members, yes, I'm going to address that. That'll be the last thing I address. Okay?
Nobody say nothing else about the other
Please,
things.
please. So I made you on the mind.
Really? Are you instructing people not to speak?
I'm giving advice.
Didn't you ask her last time to come and join you?
You don't let us
No.
A month ago, didn't you ask Chris to come and join you?
I suggested it.
This
For
gentleman
reasons.
stay here with the hand up for 15
But I
minutes.
can't see behind me. I'm addressing
He's
the
not
audience
behind
out
you.
Hey,
there.
Philip,
Okay, but it's good.
I lived here for 7 years. This is my first meeting with you guys.
Oh,
My
wait,
question to you
let me
then.
address that one little thing very
Yes.
quickly.
No, we're
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. Let me address that one thing. I heard in the beginning that everybody said, have any of you ever met Lester? How many years have you all lived here? 4?
Here in 2006.
Over
17
What does
17
that
years.
matter that no one knows their board members?
Stop. So, stop. So, can anybody here raise your hand and say you've never met Lester before?
You
How long
never
have you
met
been
him before.
here?
Look around.
How long have you been here?
Over 17
4
years.
years. You've been on the board that long.
11 years.
That's
So
4
who's
years.
Not engaged.
I met him one time.
Not
he went
engaged.
To church and more money for the control that he
go
wants. He wanted to charge me out the
Would you stop interrupting the meeting?
Guys, mira, cálmate, cálmate. Ya, ya, cálmate. Relax.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
This gentleman has to
It's a little game.
One more interruption. I close it. I do not have time for this and I will not take the time. Sir, can you come up front so I can see you, please? I like to see somebody in the face when I'm talking to. Is that a crime?
What, don't you look at it?
How can I have my
Boy,
name?
man.
My name is Tyrone Haskins.
Right.
I've lived here for 7 years.
Right.
But I was just gonna make a suggestion about the gate.
Okay.
You're gonna give kids little cards. They're gonna get lost. Why don't you do a combo lock or something on the gate? They can just come in and punch in a code and get into the gate.
Right. And that has been done in Meadow Woods once before, and within 2 months, everybody and their mother and their father and neighbors had to go to the gate.
Same thing with the front gate. Everybody gives the front gate, codes to the front gate, so what's the difference?
Well,
I'm just saying.
yeah, I understand, but again, that's a disaster. That's being moved. That's a disaster.
Either way, it's a
And then
disaster.
the law breaks.
Because you're gonna give kids cards, and they're gonna look at it, and that's what happens, they can't get in the
And
gate.
do you think they can remember the code?
Well, we give you an easy code.
All right, so if you're all sitting there thinking that I'm wasting your time, I suggest you leave because I'm gonna run this meeting because everybody wanted it. I'm taking the time. If you can't respect that and I'm not getting to your thing fast enough, leave and we'll have a meeting at another time where you'll be first. Sir.
My question is besides the gates, because this is a problem that happened on my property. My name is Miguel Guerrero. I'm the new.
What's the problem?
The problem is the cracks in the wall. There's
Now
a crack.
I'm going to get to that because here's just a minute. Here's a big thing. Many years ago, we had a lot of problems with stucco. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody seen any problems today?
Yes. Yes.
So I've started to notice on the back of Ashland and along the road, stucco's falling down. Just give me a second, sir, I'm answering you.
Well, I haven't told you my fault.
Just a second.
Because of the cracks of the wall, I have my garage. It has a leak. So that's costing me money.
Right.
So
It is your responsibility to repair that.
yeah, I don't say about the inside. Okay, it's not.
No, the outside.
The outside too. I called.
The stucco. A lot of us who had that problem 5 years ago, we all paid to have it repaired.
That's true.
Just a minute, just a minute. A lot of people chose to get their own people to repair them, and now it's starting to show that some of those people that got a cheap deal to repair their walls was a bad idea. I had mine professionally done, I have no problems with it, front and back. A lot of people did that and paid for it. But those who didn't and took the cheap way out, they're starting to crack again, and 2 of them sit right on the back of Ashland Lane. Now, we'll be sending out notices here in the next week or so. I'm going to go through that wall here on Sunday and look around the wall and look at every house that has these cracks. And a demand will be sent out for people to repair these things professionally, to have a licensed contractor. Now, the reason I say licensed contractor, and you have no choice with this, when you bring somebody onto the community to do any form of repair, they have to be licensed and insured. That is a requirement, correct? So, you have, if you get a letter because your stucco is broken, and you decide to get Joe or Miguel or whatever to fix it, you can't, not anymore. You have to get a licensed contractor who's insured to fix those problems. If you don't fix those problems, then you can forget about the garbage cans being a problem. That is what turns places into looking like a ghetto, when people do not repair the breakage on the outside of their problems, when they don't repair their lights outside the garage. These are all the things that affect the community and the look of it. If I drove by 5-6 years ago, I was driving up and down looking at this thing, I thought, I would never buy a house here if I had come in and saw the stucco falling off the walls. Do you agree with me on that? Yes. So that's going to be done, and the people better repair it fast. That's what has to be done.
That's not during Christmas time.
The question I have is the front key code.
The what?
The front key code for the main gate. Is
Okay.
that something that you guys can change the code where every, let's say, 6 months, a year?
It can be changed as often as we want to.
Okay, so that meaning, like, for instance, we know it's all 5099. So that way
I
every
wasn't
year.
aware of that. I've never used it.
Oh, I have the clicker, but
Yeah, so do I.
so, but it's one of those, it's that way, it minimizes traffic coming in.
Get a number, that's one given out to them. We just want to see that they have to have a car. We have a problem, and that has concerning rentals. That realtors come in, and then we give them a number, then they give it to every.
Which I understand that.
No, just bear with me. And I experienced that on another community that I manage, so I have told realtors, I'm sorry, you're not getting the coded number. You will, if you have a property in here you manage, you will buy a car. Simple as that. Then we know you have an access card and there's no problem with access. Giving out that one number for everybody always ends up being a problem, because eventually, in a very short time, it's all over the place. So I'll have that number deleted, and we'll find another general code for contractors.
I've seen you guys been here over years, many years, with the board, with Gary, and now, right? What's in it for you guys? What's benefit you guys out of this? Seriously.
Absolutely
if I put
nothing.
myself in your shoes, I won't take that job.
Well,
Honestly.
here
But what's
again,
in it for you guys?
here again is the problem. I did it for the love of the community, and I'm not, just give me a moment.
Proceed. You don't really want an answer to that.
Yes.
Excuse me.
That's his.
Why are you telling a man that he can't have his, how dare you?
For business.
This is business. It's part of the business. Board members are volunteers. Now, you need to have a certain business acumen, a little idea of financials, an idea of how contracts work, a working knowledge of the Florida the Florida statutes, and a working knowledge of the rules and regulations and the documents. I did that because I felt I was qualified to help the community. You start to put your hand up. Can you let me answer everybody else's question, not just yours? And I will right now rescind my request for you to be on the board. I thought you were more patient. If you're that
Listen, I'm not here
impatient,
to be on the board. I
thank
just
you.
want competent people to be on the board. That's it.
well, or maybe not be competent in your mind, but
Let's
that doesn't
proceed,
matter.
please. Let me just
Stop playing the
proceed.
game.
Stop rushing it. I'll use the time I need, and if you don't want to wait for
An
that.
hour.
You
An
consider
hour.
it the owner.
Let's proceed.
So?
Let's proceed. Let's proceed. That's okay. I got it.
I ask myself several times, why do I care? I truly ask myself when I'm called up at 11 o'clock at night because two people are fighting over a car being towed, when I'm called out at 1 o'clock in the morning because somebody punched out the tow truck driver. You ever hear about that? They threw a bottle in his head because they were drinking and put him in the hospital for 5 days. That's what some of our vendors have to deal with. I get called out at night when somebody has a smoke alarm going off in their house asking, when am I going to send somebody? We get all these ridiculous questions. Sir,
No, that's my son. Let him talk. guiding you?
I ask myself several times. I can tell you this much now, as you witness here, it is the most thankless job you could ever get.
But let me finish. Isn't time for you guys to have some fresh faces, a new board member?
And that will happen in December.
That's it, man.
That will, just,
We need board members now, there's positions open.
you do not run the meeting, I do, so let me get on with
You
it.
made that known, you made that known. You are
Don't
the
say
man,
it.
you are the one that runs this place, you're the one that makes all the decisions. But
I'm
we
the
are the
one that
owners,
runs
and
this
we are
meeting right
invested.
now, and
We are
you be
paying
quiet,
$1
I
million
will.
a year, almost $1 million a year. So we have a say. Get over the nonsense and let's get to the business.
Where's Benjamin?
There's two
He doesn't
people
belong to the board?
missing. No,
Benjamin?
he's property manager.
So, as I was saying to you,
Okay, no, please.
That's your issue, yeah, please.
the one thing everyone wants is to be heard. I can't listen to all voices at the same time, so you're going to have patience. Everybody wants an answer, so I get to you. All right? You're next. Your turn.
I have one simple statement and then a question. The lack of representation from you guys, which is the first thing I tried to
Explain
say.
representation.
Your lack of response.
Okay.
I myself have video, countless video, where I have to remove people from this pool late at night. Drug deals literally that we have stopped. We also have video and proof. Phone calls to 911, and they state that without your board members, we cannot do anything. No one responds. No one talks back. No one represents us. You do not communicate, and when there is communication with your management company, it's either condescending, it's rude, it's vile, and most importantly, it's vile. We have proof, countless emails. Am I saying something incorrectly? I just want you to know I have backup. I have backup. Now, besides, you're stating from garbage to leaks to cracks to problems to jumping fences to things and towing and punching in the face and bottles and problems. Do you know why it's so easy for this community for that to now take place? Because of the lack of representation by the member. Excuse me, do not interrupt me. And if you're going to make faces the same way you don't want them, don't do them back.
Well, when you say something that's...
I am saying something that is...
I'm listening to you.
Okay, I hope you are the same way. I've been listening for an hour and change.
I'm listening to you.
So now I'm telling you the reason the gate is broken, the lock is broken, the women's bathroom has been pushed. That's not a growth. That's not paint. That is with my own eyes and many other witnesses. The kids that are selling drugs from here, kicking the door open so they can piss and do whatever else in that bathroom. There's video. But you know, by law, I cannot distribute a video without having permission to do so. But there is countless video. Even though there's only 30, 40 people here and 322 homes, I promise you, Philip, there are many more people that could not make it here physically, that are tired, fed up, and misunderstood. Most importantly, and when I say misunderstood, you know why I'm saying that to you? Because you're talking about a fining committee. A fining committee, you think with the way we feel right now, we're gonna knock doors and put fines and mark whatever, cars and trash, when we feel we don't even use the pool in our own subdivision because it's disgusting. It is disgusting when I find a new young lady, I don't know if there's children, so I'm gonna reserve my verbiage, a young lady and a young man doing whatever they want at 11:30.
That's true.
I had to take them out with the help of other people's husbands and my own. Excuse me,
You had
I'm
to
not.
you explain.
I'm not. And you want me to explain to people fucking in the pool?
Excuse me.
Respectfully, with all due respect, how do I
I
explain
want
that?
an explanation of what you mean
Do
when
you
you
have the
say...
text messages? Because we can bring them up.
I'm trying to get your verbiage, I'm trying to get you to
Okay, so let me-
explain. Stop for 5 seconds.
You want me to stop?
Explain to me.
I will. What?
I had to take them out. Explain that carefully. What did you do?
So let me stand up for this. I proceeded to come from my house since I can see the pool from my yard. Get up, walk over, my husband and I, another husband, another wife, to find people in the pool.
You had to take them out. Explain that.
Hey, get the out of my pool at 11:30 in the night. Hey, Philip, there's people at 11:30 in the pool. Excuse me, you're talking, you're interrupting. Now you're interrupting. Give me a second. You understand there's emotion to this because for $220 a month, it is frustrating. It is exhausting. And the minute we don't pay your management company, he will take our home from us.
You're not
So
paying the
give us,
management
give
company, you're paying
whoever,
the
well, we're
association.
sending it to Towers Property, so that's where I'm paying $220.
Sending
So
it to the
respectfully, how do you think there's not going to be emotion amongst such a diverse group of people when no one talks to us, no one responds to us? COVID or not, when's the last meeting? When's the last, even just a physical representation? And I know you go around, apparently, that's fine and dandy. We respect you for that. You stated in front of several witnesses, Rashid, myself, and others, right here when we asked you for this meeting, you said, I work full time, I cannot do it all, it is a lot.
Yes.
If you are overwhelmed, overexerted, and done, please, as of today, myself and these folks and anyone that does not concur, please speak up. We want you to give other folks a chance. Let someone who is more adapt, equipped, and ready, possibly more, when a phone call or a text comes through, we can come. I have no problem with that. There's many other people that don't have no problem with that. But if we're gonna go around talking about bins and cracks, I'm telling you right now, the drug dealing, the two gentlemen in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom, recorded on video, two gentlemen that again I had to take out of this pool, that becomes a problem. The 12 midnight on a Tuesday, music and parties in a no private party allowed, yet there's cameras that we're constantly paying for, but the IP address is not working, you know, you need to do this, you need to do such, and then
You
we're,
don't listen, do you?
excuse me?
You don't, I said to you, guys, sorry.
But they're not being monitored, so what's why are we paying?
Why are you allowed to say such things, but when we say anything out of pocket that you assume is
I've
like,
already
you stop,
addressed it.
how do you tell me, a grown woman, that I don't listen?
Well, I just said to you, you must not have been listening earlier because I addressed the cameras.
So if you are aware of the cameras, why don't you, as the board president who does it and wants thankless you're so thankless from us, why don't you come and throw the people out? Why don't you come and do rounds? You're the president. You've been here for 15 years. You've been here for 15 years. Why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it if you cannot?
You want me to answer?
I want you to not, one, tell me that I don't listen. I want you to not speak to me like I'm a child. And I want you to understand that the same way you live here, I live here. The same way you pay, I pay. And I'm probably more frustrated than you because I have minors. And it's disgusting that I can't bring my kids to the pool because I either will encounter a problem, an issue, or someone using my stuff, my facilities that we pay for. Why? We have video of people jumping over, and I know you can't control that. But you know why they're doing it? Because they know they can. Nobody's here. And when we text Philip or Lester, I never have. I don't even know he exists. Who's answering us? Nobody answers us. So we have to come here.
You've had your time. Good. So let me answer all those things.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me how that's going to change. I would appreciate it. Me and probably everybody else.
Everybody.
Speak, let.
So,
Guys, please, come.
first of all the other items that we talked about are relevant to this community and other people, so don't take other people's relevancy away. It took time to get through. Now, I knew this pool was an issue for a few people, a bigger issue for a few more than others. I understand you. So, I always ask when someone comes to me with a problem, I said, well, okay, I thought about it, but tell me, what do you suggest we do with this? Just in a couple of minutes, what do you suggest we do with this?
Are you asking a question?
Yes, I'm looking directly at you.
Okay, well, I need to know when to actually intervene because I don't want you to.
I'm asking you a question.
Okay, you're asking me, us, because I'm collective.
I'm asking you. You can't speak for everybody.
If anyone disagrees, they can tell you. Okay, then it's just me. It's just me. It's just Elizabeth. That's fine. You're asking me.
Legally, you
This
cannot.
is not a court of law, Mr.
It
Phillips.
doesn't, I don't care about you, a paralegal or something like that, I guess, but it
Please,
doesn't matter
please.
what it is.
This
It's
is,
right.
you don't even have quorum on your own board technically,
This-
so please.
I have a quorum here.
How? How?
Do you
Please.
understand the word quorum?
Let,
Do you understand the word quorum?
Do
Does
not
everybody
keep
understand the
please.
word quorum?
There's no, okay,
What
so
is that?
let's
Let her
answer.
answer your question.
So the question
Well, then
is,
stop
what do I
dressing up.
suggest? I suggest Philip, Lester, and since there's no one else, remove themselves and let someone else
Not gonna
take
happen.
the.
Yeah.
Why? If you're saying why?
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 It's not gonna happen.
Then
It's
why?
not gonna happen.
Then now I'm asking you. They are not doing nothing for us.
Please sit down
You
and
guys
read
are not
the
doing nothing for us. I'm done.
Sit down.
This is.
No, he has to talk about the
This
two
is-
positions that are
Who's the
open.
president? You gotta.
Stop talking.
Two positions are open.
Stop talking or I'm serious.
Why you
This
got
is the
both?
last time I'll say it. I am not gonna waste my time with this. You need to be patient, and if you can't be patient, then I'm done with this meeting. I have other things I'd like to be doing, but I came here tonight to do this. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay. There are staggered board members here. Staggered terms. You know what staggered term is?
Yes.
we do. One has, it's a 3-year staggered term. My term is up, I believe, in December. Okay?
You've been on the board for.
It doesn't matter, I don't want you to interrupt me
You
again.
haven't
Please
been
stop.
voted in. You were not voted in. You cannot. You don't have a 3-year
Be
term.
quiet.
You were not voted in. Sam, sit your freaking butt down. Sit down.
No, she's not right. Here's the thing. When people did not show up with proxies to vote for different members on the board, that's on the members themselves. We cannot control everybody. So the meeting rolled, there was no meeting, and it rolled over. Fine.
There was no reconvene. You
I
were not allowed to
need you
reconvene.
to stop talking or leave.
People need to know what's going on.
I need you
You're
to stop
talking.
talking or leave.
I'm not leaving. I have every right.
Why do you want to tell her to leave? She's the owner here.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter, I can still have a
It is America.
She knows what she's talking about. She's more informed than anybody.
Stop it, let the man talk.
He takes a break because he knows I know.
You don't know
Yes,
because
I do.
I can call the police right now and said I have a
Call them.
officer.
Call the police.
Who the hell is talking? I'm not talking to you.
Call the
I'm not
police.
talking to you.
You're really nice.
Elizabeth, let me answer you and everybody please be quiet.
Just continue, please.
In those staggered terms, my term is up in December. I will gladly not run for the board again.
That's bad.
That's not good enough. We need to.
Dear buddy,
Zion,
still talking.
Hey, guys, let's Trish, it's your turn. Let's Trish talk.
You know what? He doesn't allow me to talk.
No, you can't talk.
You keep talking, you keep interrupting. Please don't. I'm trying to answer
Trish,
this.
relax.
So stop.
Let her finish her
No more.
list.
So in December, what you have to do is you have to get people together in a majority so that we have a quorum of members at the meeting.
What is that quorum?
I told you not to interrupt.
Really? We need to know that.
No, no.
So we can get everybody together.
We will know. We will know.
By law,
I just asked everybody if you understood the word quorum, and you didn't say anything.
We do, but
Quorum is called a majority.
what's the number?
Do you understand that?
Are you hiding the number?
Got your answer.
Are you hiding the number? I'll talk. I can talk. Are you hiding the number?
Hiding what number? What's he talking about?
The
just
majority.
answer the question.
Majority.
How many we need?
32.
There's 322.
32.
32, that's it? You got 90 people.
The quorum is less than a majority.
So, that quorum of members to conduct an election meeting, I believe, check it again, is 30%.
No, it's 10%.
No, that's for a recall.
No. For a recall, it's a majority.
No, a
Do you have a
recall.
copy of the bylaws with you?
No, but I know them. I know the Florida statutes,
That's
not
what
the
it
bylaws. A recall
A recall is a majority.
is 10%. 10% of the actual members can start a recall process.
Process.
Okay, so when you get that, you bring your members in. In the interim, the sitting board, which is what Lester and I are now, if one person resigns, we have the right to elect a third member for the duration of this period, which will be in December. So, if any one member wants to be on the board, here's what you do. Within 5 days, get me your resume and your business acumen. And why you want, I am entitled to ask. Because I've seen people want to get on the board and run havoc with the board and wreck a community. I'm not going to do that. As long as I'm here, I will do it the right way. So, if you want to be on the board, send your resume to Ben in an email within 5 days, and the board will make its decision as who they select to be on the board and serve.
That needs to be
until-
done on this
I
end.
don't want you to interrupt. I need
This
to
end
listen
needs to
so
be
you
done.
understand it. Okay?
We can do, we have four, we can schedule a management company.
Wow. Did you not hear what I said? I want you.
Where is that in the bylaws that you need a resume?
I'm telling you that's what I want.
That's not bylaws.
Where's yours?
Strictly by bylaws.
Where's your resume?
Strictly by bylaws.
That is not your
That's not in the
choice.
bylaws.
That is not your
Let's, we
choice.
have quorum here, let's put the 2 people on the board.
Right.
You think you're dealing with kids?
Is this Nazi Germany or what's going on?
We done?
We're ready, we're
Are we
ready.
done?
Yes, we're ready.
Oh, we gotta elect 2 more members. Who's the
Are we done?
Let him talk. Let's Philip talk.
These board members will go until December unless you decide to go to the expense of the association on recalling us. Now, having said that, I am entitled to ask for whatever I want as long as it is not illegal. I'm not asking you for any illegal. I am asking you to send a resume as to your business acumen, what it is you have to offer the community with. You can shake your head as much
That's
as
not in
you
the
want.
bylaws,
It
Philip.
doesn't
No,
have to
it's
be.
not. Yes, it
doesn't
does.
have to. No, it doesn't.
This is run by, it's governed by the bylaws and the all the
Well, then you
documents.
can call your attorney and discuss it. Fine.
Come on, man.
Call your attorney and discuss it with them.
You're such, you're unbelievable.
Don't go to name calling here because
Let's vote now, we have a quorum.
No.
What are you afraid of?
There's 10% here.
You're afraid of having 2 people that can actually do something.
Excuse me, there's 10% here, why can't we recall right now? Because none of us got to vote you in.
It's a
And I've been
process.
here 7 years.
It's a process you have to go through.
You said 10%, are we not 10%? Do we not want to vote? 10%?
Okay, so there's the point I'm trying to make.
What is your point, sir?
The actual
We don't
point
see
I'm
it.
trying to make is that you do not have a working knowledge of the Florida statute.
Neither do you,
So-
because you're not taking care of us.
I am.
We want things,
I
and
am.
you're not
I'm
doing
trying
it for us.
Trying to, but you're not allowing me because
What do you mean? When
because
I
your
call
agenda
him
is more
and he
important.
tells me that I want to move out of the community, after being 7 years here, I'm leaving.
Good.
Myself, good.
That's
Thank
what
you.
we want.
Thank you, because you're about to kick
Wow.
the bucket.
And we
I'm
can't
not.
stop
But
you.
it's okay. He has to stay in the property because I'm not selling even though I'm leaving.
We can't
I
s-
call him and he
We
don't
can't
even
stop
have the
you.
nerve to answer me. And the lady had the nerve to answer me so ugly that I am not allowed to park a U-Haul or a box in front of my house.
Who told
Even
you
my
that?
son that's 7 years old
Who told
had
you
the
that?
nerve. His secretary or whoever picks up the phone at the office. That my son says to me, why is she talking like that to you? Why is she speaking like that to you? You didn't do nothing to her.
Ben, speak on
Thank
it.
you, sir. We didn't even know who you are, and you haven't even spoken a word.
Speak on it, Ben.
Okay, there's 10% here
All
if we want to
right. The
vote.
manager does not run the meeting. The manager
I
works.
don't know.
Be
We are
quiet,
here
please. For
with
one moment, let me
him.
address
Okay,
that.
we have
He
to
does
contact
not
him.
run the meeting.
So then why do we have to call him instead of you if you don't run the meeting? Why do we gotta go through him
Right.
to get to you and you're not answering us?
Correct.
I don't know how many supposed letters or emails or phone calls I have.
We haven't gotten any.
Apparently, none of you need to stop, please. None of you, you all need to talk, but nobody wants to get an answer. You want to stretch out your questions, stretch out your comments. And I understand there's emotion here, and there's emotion here. And everybody's fired up and got other people fired up, and I get this at meetings. I've had it for years.
Sir,
Look,
women did not feel that they wanted to be here.
I
or
need
not
to
here.
answer. You need to be quiet now for
I
a
don't
moment.
have
I'll
to be
answer.
quiet. I pay HOA just like
Well,
everybody.
then I can't do any more until you're quiet.
ahead.
Excuse me, I have a question for Benjamin.
I'm
Can
waiting
I ask
for
him
it.
a question?
No.
Why are we doing that?
I'm trying to address another issue here. You can't
There's
listen.
a lot of people that want to speak but can't because
Can you make
he's
it
not being
concise?
led. He's running a parliamentary procedure. If you guys can't follow those
I feel
guidelines,
like
we're
that's
never gonna
the
get through
issue.
this.
Exactly, it'll be a 3-hour meeting.
I haven't been able to share or anybody else.
It is not just about you as a community barraging me with questions and attacking me with things and going all over.
There needs to be quarterly
It
meetings.
is about evenness. And I try to answer a specific question and all I get is interruptions.
Right, you wouldn't have this issue if you had quarterly meetings. How come there aren't quarterly meetings or somebody?
Well, that's in the past. That's in the past.
But that's why there's so much.
So that's
tension.
not the issue here right now.
That is the issue.
No, it's not.
There's no communication.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're telling us we don't feel what we feel.
I have a solution. If everybody would just listen.
5 seconds and I stop this meeting. 5 seconds. I'm done with your interruption when you will not listen to facts that I'm trying to explain to you. If you can't listen, that means you're not interested in how this whole thing works. If you're not interested in how this whole thing works, how on earth could you expect me and Lester to elect a board member when you haven't got a clue? And you won't listen, and you will not listen, and you will not listen, I repeat, you will not listen to what I'm trying to educate you as far as board members are concerned. These 2 members here, this board, have the inalienable right to absolutely elect a 3rd member if someone retires in the intermediary between the annual elections. Your annual election comes up in December. We need a board member that will actively participate in the running of the community until December. Now, if you don't want that and you don't want to wait for that, get yourselves an attorney, which you're entitled to do, and start the process of a recall and cost yourselves money and the association money.
That's our money too.
It costs everybody money.
That's our money.
Okay. I am not here not to work for you. I'm here to get a finding committee to start assisting us with these trash cans. I was trying to get to the end of this when I could ask other people who wanted to be in a community for other things, but you're just taking up time because you're all impatient, you're all fired up about getting your answer and your answer only, and then telling me that, oh, that's not business, that's not, you know, you stop now, stop.
And the position is still vacant.
I'm done. I'm done. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Run away.
Hey, Jack Nicholson.
I warned you.
Jack Nicholson.
Hey, December,
She
you're
has
gone, buddy.
knowledge. Let her talk,
You're
man.
gone, buddy.
For 2 minutes, please.
No, we're adjourned.
He has a solution. He can give him 30 days. He has been horrible to every one of us in
We're
response.
adjourned. You
He
did
can
not
give-
listen.
but he
I consistently
won't
tried to. Goodbye.
because Emily,
December,
his
you're
wife,
gone.
You know how
is
you
the
squeeze him?
bookkeeper.
Stop
She's
paying
a bookkeeper?
No,
Stop paying December, bro. Squeeze it.
Emily's the bookkeeper?
Emily is the bookkeeper. That's why he was getting rid of her.
Emily's the bookkeeper, Phil? Phil, Emily's the bookkeeper? Guys, come back. But maybe